Started
Hello
recording.
and welcome to a Village in Crisis podcast, which is essentially a vehicle for old friends Lee and Neil to pick apart the nonsense that people write on the local Facebook page. This week we'll be looking at a couple of small stories from the Village in Crisis and then at what is essentially the plot of a horror movie in Lee's hometown of Wallingford. Before that, though, let's catch up with Lee and see what he's been up to out on the Swedish archipelago. Hello, Lee.
Good afternoon, Neil. How are you?
Very well. Very well. Bonjour.
Bonjour, bonjour, ça va bien, merci.
Oui, ça
Bonjour,
va.
Jatan. Um, yeah, I'm all good. We're out at the country house on the island of Blida. As regular dedicated listeners know, I'm now recording every Monday from the island of Blida for the next 2 months because I'm out here selling ice cream, sorry. Um,
I wish you were a glass salesman on a small
yeah,
island.
glass
How's it
is
going?
Swedish for ice cream. Um, yeah, we're selling ice cream like it's going out of fashion. It
Good.
feels good. It's nice. We feel a bit more established this year. It's our third year, and it feels like people just beelining straight for us.
Yeah, they know you've got the good stuff. What's the top selling flavour?
Um, uh, Salted caramel.
People love that salted caramel stuff.
Yeah. It's the best seller because I only bought 3 big tubs of it, and they sold out within like days. And now people are getting almost irritated that it's not back in.
What's their fallback?
Um, I bought a chocolate cookie.
Mm,
It's very popular with the kids,
yeah.
and I bought one that I liked called creme catalan. You know, like the Spanish dessert, bit
No.
like a creme brulee,
Okay. Nice.
like a creme brulee, an upside down creme brulee that has more sort of creamy caramel rather than candied sugar, if you like.
Yeah, sounds good.
It is, but yeah, the people are just they I try new things and they you know, just want what they got.
Yeah. Do you get many double scoopers? Like, do people have two scoops, or is that not the Swedish way? No, is it one scoop only?
No, I'd say 2 scoops probably as popular as 1 scoop.
They are lavish out there, aren't
Yeah, the handbrake is off in the summer. I'm also having to have a bit of a time out from my alcohol consumption because, as I do every summer when I'm out here, and I'm working, but I
they?
effectively feel like I'm on holiday. So for the first 2 weeks, I've just been battered basically every night
What
by 11
finish
o'clock. I've
finishing work and then drinking?
finishing work, coming back, jumping in the lake to cool off, um, and starting on a gin and tonic or a lager, and then
Yeah,
just pushing through wine with dinner,
yeah,
maybe a gin. Yeah, just 11 o'clock. I'm like, bed, wake up. Oh, today's gonna be a new day. I'm
yeah.
gonna, and then by about 3 o'clock, I'm like, that first beer is gonna be fucking nice.
Have you had a G&T since you've been home
Today, now,
today?
no, I'm going back to the shop after we recorded this.
Oh, okay.
That's my dedication. I called my daughter in so that I could. No, today I've decided like this is how I figured, Neil, right? Because you know me, and I can't do. And so Sarah, my wife, is always on at me. Can you not just do things in moderation? And the answer is no.
Yeah,
I've been saying no to her for 20 years. That no, I can't. Um, if you could find somebody to help me, then I'm willing to take that help. But no, I can't do things in moderation. So I'd love to be able to just come back, have a gin and tonic or a beer, and then like enjoy 1 glass of wine with dinner. I can't understand people who can do it.
I
That's
can't.
like
I
I'm,
don't
I
get it.
mean, I'm so impressed by them, like,
Yeah.
but also baffled and a little bit sort of disgusted by them as well. Just like, no, just 1 glass is enough for me. No, don't top me up. But fuck, give it here, then I'll have hers. Um, but then I do feel like I'm pretty good at sort of breaking the back of not drinking as well. I can
The
go like
cycle.
the cycle once I've I once recently went 3 months without drinking,
Mm.
and I genuinely woke up every morning as if I was high. I was like, it was ridiculous. I was like, I had energy, I was happy, I felt really healthy.
Yeah. Well, how
So
come you slip back into it?
because I don't know, but the idea was never to give up.
Yeah, you just wanted
Um,
to see that you could.
yeah, a little bit like that. So I figured, like, okay, like the sun's shining, it is lovely out here. Should I'm going to try and go with a 3-4 rule
Mm.
where I have to have a block of 3 days off the booze to let my
Before you can have
body
4 days on
recover.
it.
Yeah, and try and be like drinking moderation on the 4 days. Um,
Yeah.
but this is the other thing. I haven't drunk that much water out here, um, which happens when you drink a lot of alcohol. Anyway, I find like that's the other thing. People who drink copious amounts of water when they drink alcohol, like
Well,
you
as
could,
a yeah, it must be
as a
pissing
side of that.
non-stop.
Yeah, oh, good for you. Well done. But my father-in-law, Fred,
Mm.
um, he was super proud. I came home one day from work and he had a bit of paper in his hand and he said, because we have like a well here on the island
Right.
at the house, that's where the water comes from. But obviously, it's not an old-fashioned like hand pump job. The water is brought up from the well
Okay.
through the taps
Pumped.
in the house. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he'd because it's down by the lake, you have to be
Mm.
quite careful about sort of like the amount of minerals or chemicals or whatever that's in there.
Right.
Anyway, he'd got his report back and he was going pH level 7, perfect, salt content on the right curve. He goes, the water is fantastically. There's a bit of uranium in there, but and I'm like, uranium. Where have I heard uranium from? Oh yeah, I remember I read that book about Chernobyl. There's a fair bit of uranium there.
So you
He
drinking
claims
bottled
that the
water?
filter will get rid of it. But yeah, so I just feel like alcohol safer as
Yeah,
well.
just drink it and you might get superpowers.
Mm. Trying it now.
Mm.
So yeah, that's
Well, that's why people used to drink ale and stuff all the time anyway, isn't it? Because it was safer than the water
yeah.
in the
I
olden
read a
times.
book about Captain Scott
Right.
when he was planning for like his voyages to Antarctica and to the North Pole and whatever.
Right.
And in there, they had like a bit of a diary on like his training and his food. He used to eat a whole roast chicken and 3 pints of lager for breakfast.
That's a
And
proper explorer.
also, when you think about it, that probably is the right order to do things, isn't it? Like, do that, burn it off through the day, climbing mountains and going over
Yeah.
glaciers and whatever. In the evening, just go, you know what? I'll have a bowl of porridge and a glass of water and go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Stay
probably is a
slim.
much better way. Big breakfasts and then eat nothing else for the rest of the day.
Whole roast chicken and 3 pints of lager. Start the day off.
3 pints of lager is a gamble, especially if you've got to drive to work.
Yeah, but he was sledging to work, wasn't he?
Oh,
So,
okay. He's all right
yeah.
then.
Well, he's not. He's dead. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you remember we spoke last week about the price of a black coffee at Poldhu Cafe in Cornwall?
Yeah, and there was that guy lied basically, didn't he?
Yeah, about the cost of it. And I put out a call to arms to our listeners to get onto their Facebook page and give them a positive review and send us a photo of that review. How many people do you think did that?
None.
Two.
That was going to be my first guess, but I just thought I won't
Well,
go with my first guess.
well, one of them was me.
Okay. Yeah. So close to
So
none.
one. But I'd just
Yeah.
like to thank Duncan, um, who's listening from Australia. Hello, Duncan, for for following a simple instruction, I would say. And you don't have to do what we tell you, but Lee and I both like people doing what we tell them, so it does make us a bit sad to be ignored. But he went on and he said, on their visiting from Australia and the best flat white and view in the Northern Hemisphere. So that was a nice little review for them. But Poultry Cafe haven't liked any of our content or liked any of the comments, so maybe it is a rip-off.
Yeah. If you're not going to appreciate the help we're offering,
Yeah,
um, we will turn on you quickly.
yeah.
And I'll say this, Duncan, great that you did what you did, but let's use your review for ammunition. How shit is the view if that's the best view he's ever seen in the Northern Hemisphere?
What do you mean? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, how shit are all the other views he's seen in the Northern Hemisphere? Because
Well,
I'm not having the what's the cafe called?
Poultry Cafe.
Baldrick Cafe.
Hold who? Lee, he hasn't been
Bold
there. He hasn't been there, Lee, remember? Do you remember? He's just gone on, he's done us a favour. He's gone on to review. So he's not been there. You don't need to turn on Duncan. Duncan's not the problem here.
sorry,
But
Duncan.
but in terms of cost, I work in like a just on the outskirts of Cambridge in a place called Fenditton. And I went down
Mhm.
to a pub called the Plough in Fenditton, which is just on the
Yeah,
river. One of those places that has got a prime location, so really just rests on its laurels a little bit, I'd say.
yeah,
How much do
yeah,
you think I
yeah.
paid for a pint of Diet Coke in there, if we're talking about a rip-off?
God, do you know, I wouldn't have a clue what. Like, I remember it was a quid for a pint of Coke when I was um, uh, £5.60.
No, no, it wasn't that much. £4.20 though. A big margin on that, isn't there?
Oh, for real? Yeah, yeah. And plus, it came from that like gun, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's not even the real thing. It's just the syrup that they
yeah.
produce that mixes with the soda water and the
Spunk it
gas.
out into a pint glass and charge you £4.20.
Yeah. No, that is a rip off. Um,
I just wanted to sit by the river though and have a drink in my lunch hour. So, I'm paying for the venue, I suppose. I am the mug that keeps this kind of place going.
well, something's only worth what another person's willing to pay for it. And if you wanted to have that view, and how much is a beer down there?
I don't know, probably about 7.50.
That's quite cheap, isn't it?
No, it's not.
No,
No, no, it's quite expensive, I reckon. But then again, I've
what's
no
an
idea.
average?
I'm just picking. I've turned out to be like this bloke reviewing the black coffee last week. I've no idea how much it costs, and now I'm just picking out figures. Should we move on to the Facebook threads?
Yeah, let's do it.
Just to as I know you like when the swingers are back in town. So this is just a little one-liner. It's from Phil Flaccid. Anyone out there that can straighten my TV aerial, please? What
Are
do you think he's
we
what do you think
are
he's
we claiming
after?
that's a proper call to swing her arms?
Yeah. What do you think he's
Yeah.
after there? Anyone out there that can straighten my TV aerial, please?
Uh, well, he wants somebody to give him an erection.
That was my take on it. Right,
Yeah.
next. Um, next post. Harvey Hungry comes on and he says, when will the fish and chip shop be open? For regular listeners, this has been an ongoing cause of concern in the village, probably for over a year now. We lost the fish and chip shop, a new one's coming. It's all branded. It looks like it's ready to go. So people are really getting excited about it. So Harvey Hungry, when will the fish and chip shop be open? Um, and Danny Dickhead responds, cooking is really quite easy.
Yeah, proper bell end, this
Yeah,
guy. Um, You know, just talking about fish and chips, because you eat fish and chips any time of the day, really. So it doesn't have
Yeah,
to be a proper meal. Middle of the afternoon, fancy some fish and chips. I'll go get some fish and chips.
yeah.
Did I tell you about the time that we were in Hunstanton in Norfolk? Me,
I
when I
think
say
you
we,
did.
and Sarah ordered a salad.
Yeah. So I ordered salad. Yeah. So you've told it on here before. Anyway, Harvey
Um,
Hungry, I think he missed the opportunity when Danny Dickhead said cooking is quite easy, really. Harvey Hungry should have come back in with a so's your mum. Absolutely missed an opportunity there. But he dropped a bit of a guilt in. He said, just asking for my elderly parents. Yes, I'm a very
oh,
good cook, thank you.
I didn't need to throw the. You
No,
should have just left the parents' bit. Just gone.
yeah,
You know, no, it's because my parents are dying, and
yeah.
they
Their
wanted fish
dying
and
wish
chips.
is to have fish and
Fish and
chips.
chips from the. That's tragic, though, Neil. That you live in a village that doesn't have a fish and chip shop.
Well, I think as of this Saturday, we will have. So we'll probably see some reviews. There'll probably be queues going round the village, I'd imagine.
I can imagine it's going to be a bit of a shit show the first night or two.
Yeah, they won't. No one is ever prepared to be too successful on day one.
No, the best thing that can happen is they do a good service. Fish and chips come out in a timely fashion. They don't have too many people working. They have enough people to be working so everyone's on their toes the whole time, not just standing around being a fucking spare spanner.
Yeah, spent cop at an
And
orgy.
and they sell out,
Yeah,
but not too early. But
no.
with
How about by
nothing,
about, bearing in mind it's a chippy, if they've sold out by about 10 p.m., do you think that's okay?
yeah, yeah, because you want to be able to turn around and have a decent enough queue left to just go, I'm so sorry, like we've sold out. We've sold
Yeah,
out of fish. If they go, what have you got? I've got pork pie you can have, or you know, I've got
a
a
fish
fish
cake,
pie you
battered
can have,
sausage,
or bloody spam fritter.
spam free.
Yeah, we've got spam fritters left, and I'm at the back of the gear. Get in there.
Um, the next post, another quick one, which we're having a quick around the grounds really from the village.
All right.
It's from Fiona Photos, and she says, "What a pretty village we live in," and she's put like 5 photos on of some lovely cottages with flowers outside them and stuff like that. Um, the swingers have got a bit confused though because someone responds to this. They're thinking of the TV aerial guy, and they've made a mistake and they've responded to the wrong post. Because
All
in
right.
comes Susie Swinger, and she says, "I've been in, I've been enjoying Nick's lovely row of hollyhocks as I drive out the village." What do
Okay.
you
Is
reckon Nick's
hollyhock
lovely row
a
of
code?
hollyhocks are?
No, is that code for anal beads?
Could be. I thought hollyhocks rhymes with cocks.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe
I
I'm
see what you
clutching
did.
at clutching at straws. But anyway, the reason I came to this thread, this guy's been on it before. I've called him something else. I can't remember what it was, but I've called him Michael Moved House on this thread. So she said, "What a lovely village we live in," and Michael Moved House says, "Shame about the rest of it."
Okay.
Sue
What's his
Shame,
issue?
yeah, Sue Shame responds, "Shame about that one comment too." And Michael Moved House says, "Just saying, we was there a long time, and it makes you realise what a shithole it really is."
Like, my word. Tell us what you really think.
He's left the village, is still on the village Facebook group just to comment that the place is a shithole. That's a proper
That's not.
troll.
Yeah, and also that's not the first time somebody's left the village and held a grudge.
No, well, I think it's him every time.
Oh, I was hoping that people were being priced out of staying there, and they just resented it so much that Or maybe
That'd
they
be
just
nice.
went, we are not living in a village that doesn't have a chippy.
Yeah, let's get out of there. He'll be laughing on the other side of his troll face when he realises we've got a chippy, won't he?
He will. He's just going to go because he's probably basing his whole shame about the rest of it on the fact that there isn't a chippy, and when the chippy opens again,
Yeah,
bang, he's got nothing. He'd be
yeah.
secretly devastated.
Next
It'd
post
be
comes in.
interesting to know where he lives now
Yeah,
in
I'll look him
comparison.
up actually. I'll see if I can find where he lives. But that can
Do
be a
so.
job for another day. Anyway, next post. It's from Philomena Firefly. Um, and she says, these fireflies were dancing near our house the other evening. I've never seen them before. And I'll send you a photo that she's put up. It's a lovely
Oh,
photo.
just dropped my phone.
All right, hold on. I'm still trying to find the photo anyway.
Oh, you're never prepared when you're doing these
I'm not
flashing photos.
great. I'm not great at this kind of thing. Hold on. I'll just take a photo of the screen. I can't find the bloody photo. You won't really get the full glory of it, but I'll send it through now anyway. If you zoom in, you can see just to the left of centre the fireflies.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. Um,
I've never seen a firefly before.
no, well, Nelly No Idea comes in and says, I had no idea we even had fireflies in the UK. And Wilma Wonderful comes in. How wonderful. And then in comes Belinda Beautiful. How beautiful. We've looked up how to find them, and there isn't many spots to see them. You're so lucky. The closest one was that some have been spotted in Cherry Hinton chalk pits. And then Karen Can't Fly comes in and she says, I've been to see the ones at Cherry Hinton chalk pit. Our UK version are glowworms. They don't fly though. Uh-oh. Red flag.
Yeah. What's that? What's that
In
mean
comes
then?
Felicity Fun Spoiler. I think there is a bit of photographic magic happening here. I've only ever seen fireflies once before in Italy, and it was really dark then. Not sure why these are glowing so much when it is light.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, I was sat there in awe going, that is so cool because I've only seen them like on American films.
Yeah,
And here we are in the middle of the day and they look amazingly, what's the word?
iridescent.
Splendorful.
uh, well, Felicity, I think, has kind of put Philomena's nose out of joint. She's gone through a kind of, you can tell the passive aggressiveness of her response. She says, "Oh, Felicity, well, if only I knew such tricks. They were amazing. I felt very lucky to have seen them. It was around 9 p.m.
Okay.
In
I don't
comes
know
Deb.
why
Well,
anyone would do this if it's a lie.
yeah, yeah. Why would you make it up?
It's pure
Attention.
boredom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In comes Debbie Doubtful. I honestly doubt they are fireflies. Must be either edited or something else. Suspicious. A. Only glowworms exist in UK and they can't fly. B. It's too bright to be outside at that hour. C. Only their bottom glows, not whole body. Thus, if you photograph them, you would usually just see a dot or line of light.
Unless you use some kind of time lapse on a phone to
Yeah.
collect them and therefore has got more of an image than is actually being portrayed in reality.
Philomena Firefly responds to Debbie. Debbie, definitely not edited. Just as well I enjoyed the moment. The males fly, so when I googled them, that is what came up. Happy to be corrected if someone can tell me what they are. She does not
I
want
would
to
have
be
just
corrected.
written, I would have just written if this is true. I would just go, I thought they were fireflies because they were flying and it
Yeah,
looked like fire.
and glowing.
If
Yeah.
somebody knows they are, if it's not possible for them to be fireflies, please inform me. Otherwise, bugger off.
Yeah, go fuck
Absolutely.
yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. I saw something cool and I was just trying to share it.
Sam saw some comes in, and he says, "I saw these in Wales many years ago, and they were definitely flying." And then Philomena Firefly responds with a photo, like from Google, saying "male firefly in action" with a photo of a firefly.
Does it look similar to the one she took?
I reckon it could do. I'll send you that photo. Hold on. All right, 1 second. Isn't
Yeah.
technology amazing? I've just taken that
Yeah, we could
photo,
never have done this before, could we?
and now it's coming to you. Right, should be there. That's the
I'll have a
male
look.
firefly. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I reckon it could be.
Maureen
It's
Make
either that or
Believe.
they're fairies, right?
Well, Maureen Make Believe appears. I do believe in fairies. I do, with a double exclamation mark.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they're fairies.
Mandy
That's what
Mushroom.
Tinkerbell looks like.
Yeah. Mandy Mushrooms comes in. Yep, me too.
Hmm.
Debbie Doubtful. Now, fairies I would have believed. I also believe in dragons and elves and such. So let's just get
Yeah,
this straight. Debbie Doubtful is ruling out the chance that it's fireflies.
a real, actual,
Yeah.
proven to exist creature.
Fairies she would have believed. Also, if someone had taken a photo of a dragon or an elf, she would have believed that as well.
When we were hiking in northern Sweden a couple of months back, our friend Baz constantly banging on about trolls.
Right.
Yeah, he was like, "Is this rock we're on a troll?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." He goes, "When's he going to raise? What do we kick to make it get up?" It was just
Well,
like,
trolls are a big thing in Sweden, aren't they?
yeah, yeah. Actually, I didn't realise. I was looking at a map of the island we're on now, and I thought I'd pretty much um, what's the word?
Explored, navigated.
Explored, experienced everything the island had to offer
Yeah.
as I've run the length of the island as well. Turns out I've missed about 2/3 of it,
Really?
and there's some kind of like classic Swedish book that was inspired by, and it's about trolls, and was inspired by this island, and it's the bit that I haven't explored, and it's
Oh,
because it's got
hold on
all,
a minute. You thought you'd explored the whole island, and it turns out you've missed 2/3 of it.
yeah, yeah.
What made you think you'd explored the whole thing?
Well, when I say the
Arrogance?
whole when I say I'd explored the whole thing, I've gone. We live at the northern tip,
Right,
and I've run the only road or the main road
right.
that goes through the island to the southern tip, and it's
Okay.
10 kilometers in each direction. But
You're
it
like
turns out,
Bleeder's version of the hardest geezer.
yeah. But I found out like the next day someone already done that run. But to the east, um, as you look at the map.
Hmm.
Mhm. So if you're looking, it doesn't really matter, Neil, how you look at a map. The east is always the east,
Yes,
right?
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's to the east. There's like a big bulge of area. It's a
Right.
little bit like I'd say it's probably like running from say Manchester to London and going. I wasn't aware of East Anglia.
Or Wales,
Yeah,
because yeah, that would make more sense, wouldn't it?
yeah, yeah.
No, that is west. No, no. East Anglia would make more sense. I've got to
Yes.
pause it. I've got to go for a slash. I'm so sorry. Hold on.
Oh
Keep
my
talking though.
God.
This is going on YouTube. Keep
Fucking
the crowd
no,
entertained.
this is such amateur hour. Bloody hell. Most people, like me, go to the toilet before they start recording a podcast, but not Neil. No. Neil Neil also sits down to go to the toilet. I know that. Now, I know that this is a lot more popular than it used to be in the past with the male population. Something to do with not over um, burdening the prostate, thus leading to less prostate problems and or cancer. Although I still feel like I'm old enough to stand and urinate. Um, the argument that you make less of a mess, I don't care
Back.
about. It's me that cleans up. Yeah,
Okay.
hi.
Shall I explain why I had to go to the toilet?
Because you've, I don't know why.
Well, I told you I was going to do this fasting
Yeah,
diet. Well, today is a fasting day. So to substitute food, I just
you
drink
drink
pints of
piss.
water. Drink pints of water, but it's getting to the point where it's going right through me.
Okay. How's that going? I thought you said you'd lost weight. You look the same.
Yeah, well, I feel electric. I'll tell you what the problem is.
Uh,
A There's too much on the non-fasting days. So what I'm doing is I'm doing these fasting days, and then the weekend comes. So we had the village festival last weekend, which was essentially a 4-day bender, and
yeah.
then football's on. You know, however shit it is, but you're at a barbecue and having a drink while football's on. So really, well, to be honest, if I wasn't doing the fasting days, I don't know what state I'd be in by now. The fasting at
Mm.
the moment is just keeping the wolf from the door in terms of absolute stratospheric weight gain.
I thought I was. I went back to the back home and I weighed myself after about
Yeah.
10 days of being on it and eating and drinking, and I thought this is going to be really fucking bad. Exactly the same. I've done no exercise. I've just been sat on the sofa drinking.
Right.
But I don't think I've not been having like lunch or anything. And I've
Oh,
not
that
been
must be
eating a
it.
lot either.
Um, should we get back to the post? Or did you finish talking about trolls? I can't remember.
Nah, yeah, I've finished about trolls. Trolls
Okay.
done. No, finished.
Philomena Firefly. She says, I can't believe the comments. It was so exciting when we saw them. And Maureen Make Believe responds to her and says, there must be true magic afoot. So that's quite nice, isn't it? Someone's finally got behind a beautiful photo of fireflies, straight fairies.
I feel sorry for her because if she's seen it, she's experienced it and taken a photo of it and was excited and wanted to share it with people,
Yeah.
um, she clearly hasn't got anybody to share it with. Like
Andy,
if I
go on.
experience something interesting, fun, wonderful, depressing, depraved, whatever, I have a clutch of people that I share it with, whether that's my wife, my parents, you, my kids, whatever, and that does the job for me.
Yeah.
I don't need to go out and get like post it on Facebook or Instagram and be all like,
Yeah.
"Oh
I
God,
know what
that's
you mean.
amazing." Like it's
I'll
enough if
share
you think
a
it's
I'll share a video with you that you can look at your leisure of we each year we get shitloads of starlings that come and settle in our trees in our garden momentarily and then fly off. Um
I've seen the starlings. What's it called that
murm
happens?
murmuration. It's not a
Um,
murmuration, they're just loads of them landing in our trees. Send it to
well,
you. Have a look later.
I was driving someone to the airport and saw a murmuration on the way
Mm,
to the airport. Um, just going back to sharing things with people, I got into the London Marathon last year. Sorry, for next year,
yeah.
and
Congratulations.
thank you. And I sent a picture of the screenshot saying, "Congratulations, you got in," to one of my friends,
Mm.
and he just sent back a meme of somebody giving the wanker sign.
Well,
So
you had to pick who you share these things with.
Exactly. And I thought I'm in a position here where I'll share that with my good friend,
Mm,
and he'll go because he lives in London and he knows who he is.
yeah,
He would turn around and go, "Oh, great, yeah, we'll have to go for a beer. I'll come down and watch you." No, just a
not
wanker time.
not a thing.
No.
Oh
He
well,
also
go
took
on.
a megaphone to the London Marathon once
Right.
and screamed at people as they were running past. And I know for a fact that he um, he did an impression of Gordon Ramsay to Gordon Ramsay when he ran past, and he was like,
Brilliant.
"Ramsay, you wanker, run faster!"
Oh well, there's no need for
And
that.
Ramsay didn't like it at all.
No. Well, who does? Who
I'd
does?
like it if somebody screamed at me, "Oi, number 530112, run faster you can." I'd have a little chuckle to myself.
Harvey Humblebrag comes in. The fireflies I observed after dark on Lake Como in Italy used to pulse on off individually, so few were on at the same time. Basically, I've been
Yeah.
to Lake Como in Italy. Fuck off, no one cares, mate.
He's Yeah, that sounded like the introduction to a travel guide.
Yeah. Carly conspiracy? Lights! Exclamation mark.
Yeah, from an insect's arsehole.
And then Felicity Fun Spoiler comes back and she says, I was very interested and mystified by your photo. Brackets, jealous it wasn't hers. So I hope you don't mind, but I sent it into the Woodland Trust to see what they thought. They tell me they are crane flies caught flying in the evening sun. It would be wonderful if they were fireflies or even fairies, but they are not. And Philomena Firefly responds to that and says, thanks, very interesting.
Um, in brackets, fucking gutted, you
Yeah,
bitch. Thanks for that.
absolute bitch. So yeah, crane flies reflecting the sun.
Ah, that's a shame.
Anyway, let's get on to Wallingford, your hometown.
Yeah, yeah. It was capital of England for one day.
The what?
It was the capital of England for one day.
Okay. Yeah, I think you might have mentioned that last time.
Ah,
But that's interesting. One day.
it
You've really let that slip, haven't you? You've done something wrong.
is. You had it and you lost it.
um,
uh, yeah, go on.
well, the post is from Connie Kite. It says
Can I have
just to
real
make
names in case I know them?
no, no, I
Did I
don't
tell
know.
you? No, hang on,
Yeah,
hang on.
yeah,
We
yeah,
haven't got
yeah,
into
yeah.
this. The last post we did from Wallingford with the women with the dogs.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I did I tell you, but I'll lay it out now because nobody else knows their real names. I knew one of the women.
Right.
She was one of my best friend at school's older sister, and I snogged her on New Year's Eve once.
That's lovely.
I'm not going to tell you which person it was. The one.
But you did a bit of background, did you? And think, oh, I've snogged that person.
No, I just knew because I hadn't snogged that many people.
Well, Connie Kite, I wonder if you know her. Um, just to make people aware, my daughter was attacked
Sorry,
by.
I just need to throw it in there that this was before I was married.
Okay. And do
Yeah,
you
this
want me
was
to
when I was
congratulate you as well? Would that make you feel good?
about what?
Snogging someone?
No, I just didn't want people to think, oh, in one breath he's talking about his wife, and in the second he's talking about snogging people on New Year's Eve. This was when I was
Okay.
like in my early 20s.
Okay. Thanks
And,
for clarifying.
and I just, it's not like my wife listens to this or any of her friends, but I care what people think about me. I'm
Okay.
shallow like that.
Yeah. Shall I carry on?
No, you go for it. You had a big thing planned and I ruined it. I'm sorry.
Connie
I'm
Kite.
listening.
You're going to like this thread, I think.
All
Just to
right, go
make
on.
people aware, my daughter was attacked by a red kite in town this afternoon, on the market square on the benches. Scratched her face trying to take her food. Luckily, my 2-year-old grandson was in the buggy, otherwise, this could have been him. It has been brought to my attention that someone is actually sitting here and feeding these birds. Please be vigilant if you have any food around you.
That's scary because they reintroduced red kites into the area.
Mm,
Oh, it must be 10, 15 years ago because there was a shortage of them.
right.
And now they are definitely overpopulated. Every time we drive to my mum's from the
Yeah.
airport, you get up into Wallingford, you go over the bridge into Wallingford, and you start to see them. And there's so many of them up by where my mum lives. They're just in the air circling, and it is like a Hitchcock film.
Well,
It's
Connie Kite
mental.
says she wasn't feeding the kites, but a man does every day. Bread and butter. That's why they attack.
Mm. My stepdad, he takes scraps of meat and puts them on the roof of the shed so that they will swoop down and grab the meat and come up. It's an
Right.
amazing thing to see.
Okay. I think he might be part of the problem. As this thread goes on, I don't know,
Mm,
he might be someone that's actually mentioned in it.
yeah. I
Anyway,
mean, there are the people that find that bit amusing. There's obviously a subcategory that don't.
um, tell me what you think about this guy. I've made my opinion on him. In comes
Yeah.
Eddie Expert. Connie, they don't attack. They're looking for food because people feed them.
Yeah.
I'll give you a bit more chance to Connie Kite. She was attacked, face all scratched and swollen. So don't tell me she was not hurt. Eddie Expert. Connie, who told you she wasn't hurt? She obviously was hurt. She just wasn't attacked. They only swoop down looking for food, not to attack people. Well, I'll tell you what, if I'm walking through the street in London and someone comes up and fucking wrenches my mobile phone out of my hand and gives me a smack round the face to make sure they get it, I'd say I've been attacked. And the police aren't going to say, no, they only wanted your phone.
Yeah, but this is just a bird flying down trying to get some food.
Would you not, if, would you not say, I've just been attacked by a red kite?
No, I'd say I was in the wrong place at the wrong time when a red kite wanted a bit of food and I happened to be collateral damage. Not attacked, no.
You'd
What's
just
your
say,
opinion of this guy, by the way?
you'd just say, would you? Oh, Neil, I've fallen victim to the most terrible incident. A hungry red
Yeah,
kite came down.
yeah. That's exactly how I would speak, as if I was in the 1800s. Oh, Neil, I do say, I was just meandering along the highway. Dick Turpin
Pam,
passed me in the street, and a red kite snaffled down and winged its way into my face.
Pam Pedant comes in. Connie, that must have been so scary for you and for her. Kites aren't malicious, so they can't attack. But unfortunately, the effect is the same. I'm really sorry this happened to you.
There you go, see?
Sue Semantic comes in. She says, Eddie, let's not get hung up on words used. As someone who suffered the same, it sure feels like you've been attacked when they hit you. I know they don't normally have attacking behaviour. Pam Pedant, they don't attack. They are very smart and are looking for food. Unfortunately, if you move at the wrong time, you may get struck by accident.
If you happen to be alive,
Yeah. Similar to
you
being
may.
attacked by a fucking shark. Oh no, he wasn't attacked. He was just swimming incorrectly.
Well, that's just a phrase, a term, a phrase that's been adopted to sharks looking for food in the water and what they
Yeah,
perceive to be. Then
yeah.
it's called a shark attack. It's not. It's not an attack. It's just a shark going about its business, being sharky. Just like a red kite's going around just being all red kite-ish.
Eddie Expert comes in. With respect, it's not getting hung up on words. Red kites are becoming a problem for humans, and it's 100% our own fault. They don't ever attack people, and it's just another way that these birds will become persecuted again. Along with, I saw one take my neighbour's dog, cat, goat, lamb, sheep, cow, car, double exclamation mark.
Baby.
All right, Eddie, they're not going to fuck you.
Give it a few years, they might. Evolution.
What I like about this, in response to Eddie's post, comes Pam Problem. They are becoming a problem. Heard they were actually trying to take a cat in Berrinsfield.
Well, let me tell you about Berrinsfield. Berrinsfield is the sort of place where the locals would eat the cats.
Bit rough, is it?
Oh, as rough as I remember. We used to get the bus from Wallingford to Oxford, and Berrinsfield's like a side off part. Now, as Berrinsfield grew, the bus route changed, so you'd have to go in through Berrinsfield and pick up all the wrong uns on the bus.
Right.
We used to count how many satellite dishes there were on the houses until it was easier to count how many houses didn't have satellite dishes.
That was your sign of
roughness. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Paul Packham comes in.
Proper shithole.
Paul Packham comes in. Oh, that old saw again. A red kite eats carrion. It does not have the feet or the power to take a cat. I have seen them take mice, and they like worms. And Pam Problem says, "Oh, is that right? No idea. Just reporting on a post I saw spotted in Berrinsfield." And then Eddie Expert comes in. They can take very small, lightweight prey, like young rabbits and small birds. But as you rightly say, they have relatively weak talons and are quite lightweight despite their size. So then Pam Problem responds with a screenshot of the post from Berrinsfield. If you have a tabby cat on Berrinsfield, you may want to check that it's okay. My partner has just witnessed 5 red kites attacking a tabby cat. One lifted it and then dropped it, and the others were swooping down for it. He would have checked, but it ran away when he stopped. This was around the Way Road area.
Yeah, it sounds feasible, like it could happen. Like try to pick it up, not strong enough, drops it.
Yeah, like
5
those.
in one go.
Like those grab things at the fair, like the claw.
Yeah, 1 in 100, you'll be able to pick that cat
up. Charlie Chihuahua comes in. The same thing happened to a Chihuahua in Watlington several years ago. The kite dropped it and broke its legs.
Oh.
That Chihuahua didn't know what was happening, did it?
No,
look at me, good. I can fly! Ow, ow.
Little matchsticks snapping.
Pam Problem. Oh, wow. So small animals are a definite target, regardless if they can actually carry them away or not.
What's the expert got to say about that?
Eddie Expert responds. A Chihuahua weighs between 1.7 kilograms and 2.7 kilograms. A red kite weighs around 1 kilogram and has relatively weak talons. They can't possibly pick up anything heavier than themselves. They don't target cats and dogs, but if they think another animal may have food, they may well swoop down. This can result in unintentional injuries to both people and other animals.
Does Eddie Expert work for the Red Kite Association? Has he got skin in the game? It feels like it's...
It feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Charlie Chihuahua's not having that. Eddie, there were multiple witnesses as it was in the public park. Eddie Expert. I believe that particular story was disputed at the time. And as I've explained, it just doesn't happen. I like people that is similar to the Firefly story. People that have witnessed something, and you've got someone who hasn't witnessed it coming in and saying that did not happen.
Yeah, and they're so convinced that that their truth is the truth.
Yeah. These ridiculous stories will lead to red kites being persecuted, as they were previously in history, when farmers and landowners mistakenly thought they could take their livestock. The huge wingspan of these birds leads to all kinds of mistaken claims.
Hmm.
And then Paul Packham comes in as backup. I'm not having it. I'm not going to sit and watch people saying they took this animal or that because they're physically incapable of lifting anything bigger than a mouse.
Yeah. I
Charlie
think it's a really
Chihuahua.
divided community on
Yeah,
the red kite situation.
Charlie Chihuahua. Unfortunately, unless I and several other people suddenly started hallucinating en masse, it did happen. I saw it with my own eyes, as did several other people. Someone who wasn't present at the time simply can't say that it didn't happen.
Are
But I
you?
can.
What are you saying? Are you saying that it could happen? Where do you stand on
Well, I haven't got the
experts saying one?
expertise of Eddie, but they're a big bird. Maybe what happened, it was a different bird of prey came down and took the chihuahua, and it's been misidentified as a red kite.
Maybe it's a sparrowhawk.
They're not that big. They're not picking up a chihuahua.
Chihuahuas aren't that big either.
No, but sparrowhawks. We've got one that kills round our way sometimes, and sometimes I sit in the garden picking apart its
Yeah.
kill, and they're not very big.
Maybe it's a falcon then.
Maybe. Florence follows. Someone must be feeding them in Cholsey too. Do you know Cholsey?
Oh, Chelsea. Yeah. Yeah.
I can hear them circling every morning. A couple have swooped lower over my garden when the dogs are out for a wee. I have a Chihuahua and a Chi cross, so I have to follow them around now. And that gets a laughing emoji. And Eddie, and then her next post is Eddie Expert. Why is my post so funny? And
Yeah.
Maureen Mead too says he laughs at mine about red kites too. He is an expert.
What's the name of? There's someone famous buried in Chelsea.
Really?
What's the name of the female? Is it? What's her name? Who wrote all the Miss Marple books? What was her
Agatha
name?
Christie.
Agatha Christie's buried in Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen to this. In comes Hannah Horror Film. I work in Marketplace and I don't really care what this makes me for calling this in, but the police have been made aware of the situation of the guy feeding them. Sadly, every time they come round, he's no longer there, but they are checking when they're in the area. There were at least 25 kites circling overhead a couple of Saturdays ago. It was actually quite scary, as these are big, powerful birds. Seems like the guy in question hasn't stopped after this post, and honestly, I'm starting to think he has bad intentions doing this in a busy public area. People have been hurt and will continue to get hurt until he's told to stop in the capacity that he's doing it. 25 kites circling above the market.
Yeah, no, I'd say that I've seen about 20 odd over my mum's garden.
That is threatening. That is scary, I think.
Yeah, Sarah hates it because she's afraid of birds. She hates birds, so this is really like, yeah,
Triggering.
it's not good. Yeah, um, yeah, he definitely sounds like he's got malicious intentions.
Yeah. Vivian victim. Happened to my niece on Carnival Day, despite high number of people near the church. And Annette Arsehole responds to her. Yes, Vivian. Luckily your niece was okay after the attack. I still can't fathom why, having been attacked, you then decided to throw the rest on the floor, encouraging them to try again. Please think before putting food on the floor. This is feeding the red kites. Wouldn't have taken too much to put it in the bin. And Vivian says, I was more concerned about supporting her through the trauma and distress. It wasn't thrown on the floor. It was the food that was taken out of her hand and dropped by the kite. So no need for your unnecessary comment.
Yeah, real bitchy comment there.
Well, she doubles down, Annette Arsehole. Oh, well, I'm sorry she wasn't okay. But from an onlooker's viewpoint, she was sat on what looked like her mother's lap getting comfort. She'd have been even worse if they came back and tried again. One of you could have put the remaining pasty in the bin instead of on the floor, or asked one of the people around you to get rid of it to avoid another attack. I'm sure you can see my point.
Yeah, that you're an absolute twat.
That post is then edited. I do apologise. I'm confusing you with someone else. But there was a family of 3 next to me, and my family, including my 2-year-old little boy, who I didn't want to get attacked. So I picked up the discarded sausage roll and took it to a bin, while the older of the 2 ladies shrugged and said, I'm sure it won't come back. I wasn't about to take that chance.
Absolutely haranguing somebody, and it wasn't even that person.
And then there's loads more anecdotal stories. My son got scratched on the face and the kite took the food out of his hand whilst we were sitting on the wall of St Mary's watching the carnival. Same to my niece, who was really distressed. Wallingford School have just had to take the decision that the kids can only eat inside due to the red kites.
Shit.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's imagine having a like a pigeon problem, yeah?
Yeah,
Well, like seagulls are pretty like
yeah,
real pain in the ass, aren't they? Now, we've all experienced like how bothersome they can be.
yeah,
Now add in the fact that birds of prey are behaving that way.
yeah. It's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that it is a contentious issue in Wallingford. I know that people like my stepfather aren't helping it, but it is very impressive to see. Um, yeah, I don't know. I
I mean,
don't know.
there's loads of anecdotal, loads of people are being not attacked, um, swooped upon by red kites in Wallingford.
Yeah,
And then in comes Sue, someone should. The logical thing would be to get RSPB involved and see how they would propose it's dealt with. We'll do it yourself, Sue. Sue's just chucking an idea out there, isn't she?
it's a good
She's not,
idea though.
yeah, but she hasn't come on and said, I've contacted RSPB.
Like the other one who got in touch with Nature Trust or whatever
Yeah,
for the fireflies.
yeah, that weren't fireflies.
No,
But
no
yeah,
crane bear. Whatever.
that's it's not a good advert for Wallingford if you can't go to Greg's and buy a sausage roll and not risk being attacked as you walk down the street.
No, no, I suppose not. But you know, Sir Michael Caine lives down the road, so good enough for him.
Okay. Well, I mean, can't argue with that, can you?
Oh, you're focusing on the negatives now.
Yeah.
Like it's beautiful. They're beautiful birds. They've just what's the word? Copulated pace too quick
Well,
to.
we have them round here as well, and I love seeing them. But luckily, it would seem that we don't have so many dickheads feeding them round here, so they haven't become a predatory problem.
Yeah, maybe yeah.
Oh, no
Just
offence
another
to your
argument.
stepdad, of
Just
course,
another
but
just another argument for Cambridgeshire being better than Oxfordshire.
yeah, yeah, chalk that up. Red kite
Yeah.
attacks. We have far fewer red kite attacks than you do in Oxfordshire.
Yeah,
Well, that's us done anyway. What do you
that
think
was
about that?
wonderful. That was wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you enjoy it?
I did. Last night
Mm,
I put the a fire on
yeah,
in the house. We have an open fire, so I put some wood on the fire, built it all up, and it was crackling away, lovely. And I had the doors to the fire open, and I was like, "Oh, that's really nice. I like that." I was drinking my first cold beer,
mm,
and then I went and sat on the sofa in the other room, and I was out of sight of the fire, and I heard it crackling. And I had the laptop. I was just doing a bit of work on my laptop before the England game started. And I heard this big crack and pop, and I thought, imagine if I'm the one responsible for burning this house down. Like if some of the wood or
yeah.
has popped out of the grill. So I'm sitting there and I'm working away, and then I think to myself, "Ah, fuck it, I better check just in case because I really don't want to be that person. I'd rather go down with the house
Yeah,
than survive burning the house."
yeah.
And there was 2 great big lumps of wood burning away on the rug, smouldering away.
Shit.
Yeah, shit, proper shit. And I put it out on my foot. It was hot.
Right. And
I
have you
said
reported
to
back to people?
in the house
Yeah, that it happened.
about
I suppose the big holes in the rug is there.
no, but there's a big soot stain on the rug.
Mm.
But I was telling my daughter last night about it, and the look on her face. Basically, if looks could speak, it was you would have never ever survived the wrath of
The
Grandad
burning
if that
down
had happened.
the
Yeah.
family summer house that's
And I
been
looked at
built
her.
and extended and
Yeah, and I spoke. Replied to her without her having to speak. I said, "I know you would have found my charred body with a bucket of water in his just trying to just going down with the house. The house got burned, but Dad weren't around to. Yeah, it would have been bad. It would have been really bad.
well, I'm glad you survived. Right, we're up to I think this has been quite a long episode, so let's end it.
All right, goodbye.
All right, see you later. Bye.
Bye. All right.